I still remember the night I realized the woman I loved could look at me like I was nobody. Before that moment, I believed my marriage with Olivia Carter was stronger than anything life could throw at us. For 10 years, I stood beside Olivia while she chased her dream of becoming the youngest police chief in our city. I missed opportunities, changed my plans, and stayed behind whenever she needed support. You know I would not have made it without you, Olivia told me years ago after her first major promotion. I smiled and held her hand. Your success is my success, Liv. You really mean that? Every word. Back then, I believed those words would last forever. Our home was never perfect, but I thought our love was. I cooked dinner after long shifts, helped Emma with homework, and waited for Olivia whenever her police duties kept her away. Daddy, will Mom be home tonight? Emma asked one evening. I think so, Princess. You always say that. I looked at my daughter and forced a smile. Your mom works hard because she wants to protect people. Emma nodded. But I want her to protect time with us too. Her words stayed in my mind. I had noticed changes in Olivia. She stopped asking about my day. She stopped laughing at my jokes. She spent more nights at work and fewer mornings beside me. One night, I finally asked, "Are we okay?" Olivia looked at her phone instead of me. "We are fine, Ethan." That does not sound like an answer. What do you want me to say? I want you to tell me if something changed. She sighed. My job is stressful. That is all. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe the woman who promised forever still felt the same. Then, everything changed on a rainy Tuesday night. My phone rang while I was helping Emma prepare for school. Mr. Carter? A voice asked. Yes. This is City Hospital. Your wife was involved in a serious accident. My heart stopped. What happened? She is alive, but you need to come immediately. I remember driving faster than I ever had before. When I reached the hospital, I saw Olivia lying on the bed. Her face was pale, and machines surrounded her. Olivia, I whispered. Her eyes slowly opened. Where am I? You are safe. I am here. She stared at me with confusion. Who are you? I froze. What? A nurse stepped closer. Mrs. Carter, this is your husband. Olivia looked at me again. My husband? Yes, the nurse answered. Olivia shook her head slowly. I do not know him. My chest felt like it had been crushed. Liv, it is me, Ethan. She looked uncomfortable. I am sorry, but I do not remember you. I grabbed the edge of the chair because my legs felt weak. The doctor explained that memory loss could happen after trauma. Mr. Carter, your wife may recover memories over time, but she remembers nothing about me. She remembers some things and not others. Every case is different. I looked at Olivia. Do you remember Emma? Olivia closed her eyes. Emma? Our daughter. Her expression changed. I have a daughter? I felt a pain I could not explain. The woman I built my life around did not remember our child. Hours passed, and I stayed beside her. Then Olivia suddenly spoke. Can you call Ryan? I looked at her. Ryan. Ryan Mitchell. The name hit me like a punch. Why do you want Ryan? I think I know him. I stared at her. You remember Ryan, but not me? I do not know why. He was your ex. Olivia looked shocked. My ex. Yes. The silence between us felt unbearable. A nurse entered and asked, should I contact him? Olivia looked at me. I think I need to see him. Those words hurt more than anything. Olivia, I am your husband. I know, but I feel like Ryan is someone important. I wanted to scream. I wanted answers. I wanted my old life back. Instead, I whispered, I spent 10 years loving you. She looked away. I am sorry. Sorry was not enough. I walked out of the room and leaned against the hospital wall. How could someone forget my wedding vows, my sacrifices, and every memory we created? How could she remember the man who left her years ago, but forget the man who stayed? That night, I made a promise to myself. I would find the truth. I did not know if Olivia truly lost her memories or if something darker was hiding behind her eyes. But I knew one thing. The woman I loved was gone. and I needed to discover why. I returned home before sunrise, but the house felt different. Every picture on the wall reminded me of a life I was suddenly fighting to prove was real. Emma was waiting near the stairs. "Daddy, where is Mommy?" I knelt beside her. "She is still at the hospital." "Is she okay?" I swallowed my emotions. "She is alive, sweetheart." "Why do you look sad?" I looked at my daughter and said, "Sometimes people get hurt, and things become confusing." Emma hugged me. "Mommy will remember us, right?" I held her tightly. "I hope she does." But inside, a terrible fear was growing. I spent years believing love meant standing beside someone no matter what happened. Now I wondered if I had been standing alone the entire time. When I returned to the hospital later, Olivia was speaking with Ryan. I stopped outside the door and listened. "Do I know you?" Olivia asked. Ryan smiled. "You were the person who always understood me." I felt my hands tighten. Those words were supposed to belong to me. I walked away before they noticed me. For the first time in my life, I questioned everything I had sacrificed for love. I knew my search for answers had only begun. I stopped looking at Olivia like a husband searching for answers. I started looking at her like an investigator searching for the truth. The hardest part was pretending everything was normal. Every morning, I walked into that hospital room with a calm face. "Good morning, Olivia." She smiled softly. "Good morning, Ethan." That smile used to make my entire day better. Now, it only reminded me of the lie hiding behind it. After leaving the hospital, I met Daniel at a small coffee shop near my house. He placed a folder on the table. "I found something." I opened it. "What is this?" "Information about Ryan." I looked through the documents. "Where did you get this?" "I am a journalist, remember? I know how to find things." I looked at him seriously. "What did you discover?" Daniel leaned closer. "Ryan's company has been involved with several questionable contracts. A lot of them are connected to police departments." My stomach tightened. "Are you saying he is using Olivia?" "I am saying you should find out before you accuse anyone." I closed the folder. "I already know she is lying." Daniel looked surprised.
How?
I stayed quiet. There were things I could not explain. How could I tell my brother that I could hear thoughts? How could I explain that every smile Olivia gave me was hiding a secret? Instead, I said, "I have proof she is not telling me everything." Daniel studied my face. "Ethan, what happened to you?" "What do you mean?" "Before this, you were trying to save your marriage. Now you look like someone preparing for war." I looked down. Maybe because I realized I was fighting alone. The next day, I followed Ryan and Olivia carefully. I stayed far enough away that they would not notice me. When they entered a private office, I waited outside. Then I heard their voices. "You are sure Ethan believes this?" Ryan asked. Olivia answered, "He is hurt, but he still wants to believe me." My hands tightened. Ryan laughed.
Good.
"We need more time. Once you control those contracts, everything changes." "You mean our future?" "Yes." My heart sank. I listened carefully. Ryan continued. "You were always meant to be with me, Olivia. Ethan was just someone who helped you get here." Those words hurt, because a part of me still hoped there was some misunderstanding. But there was none. Olivia was not confused. She was choosing this. I heard her thoughts. "I know Ethan loves me. That is why this is easy. He will keep protecting me until I get what I want." I stepped away from the door. For a moment, I could not breathe. The woman I spent 10 years protecting saw my love as a weakness. I went home that night and sat alone in the dark. I looked at an old picture of Olivia and me. She was smiling. I remembered the woman she used to be. The woman who cried when I surprised her after her first promotion. The woman who promised we would grow old together. I whispered, "When did you change?" But the picture gave me no answer. The next morning, Daniel introduced me to someone. "Ethan, this is Sarah Bennett." Sarah extended her hand. "I have heard a lot about you." I shook her hand. "Hopefully good things." She smiled slightly. "Daniel told me enough to know you need help." I sat down. "I need justice."
Sarah looked directly at me.
"Justice and revenge are not the same thing." I know what they did. Knowing is not enough. She opened a notebook. You need evidence that can survive in court. I looked at her. You think I should let them continue?
No.
I think you should be smarter than them. Her words stayed with me. For years, I solved problems with action. But this time, anger could destroy everything. Sarah continued. If Olivia and Ryan are planning something illegal, we need proof. Real proof. I nodded. You are right. Daniel smiled. That is the first time today you have sounded like yourself. I looked at him. What do you mean? You're not chasing them anymore. You are building a case. Those words changed something inside me. I was still hurt. I was still angry. But I was no longer helpless. Later that evening, Emma sat beside me while I helped her with homework. Daddy. Yes, sweetheart. Why doesn't Mommy come home anymore? I stopped writing. She is busy. Emma looked at me. Is Mommy mad at us?
No.
Then why does she feel far away? I did not know what to say. Children notice things adults tried to hide. I hugged her. None of this is your fault. Will we be a family again? My heart broke. I will always be your family. But Mommy too? I looked away. I hope so. That night, I made my decision. I would not let Olivia and Ryan destroy Emma's happiness. I would not let their lies define my future. I continued gathering evidence. I listened carefully whenever Olivia spoke. I watched Ryan's movements. Every thought I heard became another piece of the puzzle. One night, I heard Olivia thinking about the future. He will never know the truth. I stood in the hallway and closed my eyes. She was wrong. I already knew. The only thing she did not know was that I was no longer the broken husband begging for answers. I was the man collecting the truth. And when the time came, I would not need revenge. The truth would destroy them by itself. I never imagined my entire life could change because of one sentence. Ethan, I want a divorce. Olivia said those words during a press conference. I watched her standing in front of cameras, wearing a sad expression that made everyone believe she was the victim. My accident changed my life, she told the reporters. I realized I was living a life that did not feel right anymore. The reporters surrounded her. Are you saying your husband forced you into a marriage you no longer wanted? Olivia lowered her eyes. I am saying I need the freedom to discover who I really am. I stood there watching the woman I loved turn our private pain into a public story. Within hours, everyone had an opinion. Online comments called me selfish. People said I should support Olivia's recovery. They did not know the truth. They did not know I was the person she was destroying. Daniel found me sitting alone that evening. Ethan, don't read the comments. I looked at my phone. They think I am the villain. They do not know what happened. But they believe her.
Daniel sat beside me.
What are you going to do? I looked at him. For the first time, I am going to stop trying to make everyone understand. Daniel looked surprised. What does that mean? It means I know who I am. Those words felt strange coming from me. For years, I measured my worth by Olivia's happiness. If she succeeded, I felt successful. If she smiled, I felt complete. But now I realized I had disappeared while trying to protect someone else's dreams. I started rebuilding my life. I returned to the skills I had ignored for years. Investigation, research, finding the truth hidden behind lies. Sarah helped me organize everything. You are different now, she said. I looked at the documents on the table. What do you mean? You used to talk about saving your marriage. I stayed quiet. And now, I closed the folder. Now I am saving myself. Sarah smiled. That is the first healthy decision you have made. Meanwhile, I continued investigating Ryan. The deeper I looked, the darker things became. His company had suspicious connections with several police contracts. Money was moving through hidden accounts. People inside Olivia's department were protecting him. I knew I needed someone who could officially investigate. That person was Michael Harris from Internal Affairs. When I first met him, he was not convinced. You are accusing a police chief based on personal problems. I looked at him calmly. This is not about my marriage. Then prove it. I placed documents on his desk. These are financial records connected to Ryan Mitchell.
Michael studied them.
Where did you get this? I have sources. He looked at me carefully. You understand accusing a police chief can destroy your own reputation? I nodded. My reputation is already destroyed. Michael opened another file. If this is true, Olivia Carter has serious problems. Then investigate. For weeks, Michael reviewed everything. At first, he questioned me. Then he started seeing what I had seen. One afternoon, he called me. You were right. I stood up. About what? Ryan's company. There are irregularities. My heart beat faster. What about Olivia? That is what we're trying to determine. I knew the truth already, but hearing someone else confirm it made everything more real. Then came the hardest moment. Olivia asked me to meet her privately. When I arrived, she looked different. Not like a powerful police chief. Not like the woman everyone admired. Just like someone carrying guilt.
Ethan.
I sat across from her. Why did you want to see me? She looked down. I need to tell you something. I waited. I remember. My body became still. What? The accident. She swallowed. I remembered everything. The room felt silent. You knew who I was? She nodded. I knew who you were from the beginning. My heart cracked. Then why? She looked away. I just didn't want to choose you anymore. Those words hurt more than any lie. I stared at the woman who had been my entire world. You let me believe you forgot me. I was scared.
No, Olivia.
My voice became quiet. You were selfish. She started crying. I did not know how to leave. You could have told me the truth. I was afraid of losing everything. I laughed softly. Everything. I looked at her. You lost the one person who would have stayed. She wiped her tears. I am sorry. For years, I dreamed of hearing those words. But now that they came, they did not fix anything. I stood up. I spent so long trying to get you back.
She looked at me.
And now? I took a deep breath. Now I want myself back. I walked away. For the first time, I did not feel like I was losing something. I felt like I was finally leaving behind what destroyed me. Olivia chose Ryan. She chose her image. She chose her ambition. And I finally chose myself. I was no longer the man begging for love. I was the man who survived without it. I spent weeks collecting every piece of evidence, every hidden transaction, and every conversation that proved Olivia and Ryan had betrayed everyone around them. The day finally came when there was nowhere left for them to hide. Sarah placed the final document on the table. This is it. I looked at the papers. What is it? The missing connection between Ryan's company and the police contracts. Michael nodded. We found illegal payments made through several fake organizations. Daniel looked serious. And Olivia approved some of those contracts. I stared at the documents. Even after everything, seeing her name connected to corruption still hurt. I whispered, she really did it. Sarah looked at me. Ethan, are you ready for what happens next? I knew what she meant. Once this became public, there was no going back. I took a deep breath. Yes. Michael closed the file. Tomorrow's hearing will decide everything. The next morning, the room was filled with reporters, officials, and investigators. Olivia walked in wearing the same confidence she always had. For years, people looked at her like a hero. Today, they would see the truth. Ryan sat beside her, trying to appear calm. But I could hear his thoughts. They cannot prove anything. Olivia will protect me. I looked at him. He still believed he could escape. Then Olivia looked at me. For a second, I saw regret in her eyes. But when I heard her thoughts, I understood. This cannot happen. I cannot lose my position. I cannot lose everything. Not once did she think about Emma. Not once did she think about the pain she caused me. Only herself. The hearing began. The official looked toward me. Mr. Carter, you have presented serious allegations against Police Chief Olivia Carter and Ryan Mitchell. Are you prepared to provide evidence? I stood up. Yes. The room became silent. I walked forward with the files. For months, I watched people believe a lie. I looked at Olivia. My wife claimed she lost her memory after an accident. Olivia lowered her eyes. But the truth is different. Her lawyer stood up. Objection. This is a personal matter. The official looked at him.
Sit down.
We will hear the evidence. I continued. Olivia Carter never forgot me. Whispers filled the room. Daniel looked at me. I continued. She knew exactly who I was. She knew about our marriage. She knew about our daughter. Olivia's face changed. Her lawyer spoke quickly. There is no proof of that. Michael stepped forward. We have proof. He placed documents on the table. These records show communication between Ryan Mitchell and Olivia Carter before the accident. The room became louder. The official looked through the papers. What are these? Messages discussing their plan to reconnect after removing Ethan Carter from the situation. Olivia shook her head. That is not what happened. I looked at her. Then explain it. She stayed silent. Ryan suddenly stood up. This is all because Ethan is angry about losing his wife. Michael blocked him. You are not leaving. Ryan looked nervous. I have done nothing wrong. I almost laughed, because I could hear what he was really thinking. They know too much. I need to get out before they find everything. The evidence continued. Financial records, secret payments, illegal contracts. Everything came out. The same people who once praised Olivia now looked at her with disappointment. The official turned toward her. Chief Carter, did you use your position to protect Ryan Mitchell? Olivia opened her mouth.
She stopped.
For the first time, she had no excuse. I watched the woman who once controlled every room lose control. Her power was disappearing. The official continued. Based on the evidence provided, you are suspended immediately pending criminal investigation. The words echoed through the room. Olivia looked shocked. Ryan became angry. You cannot do this. Michael looked at him. We can and we will. Security moved toward Ryan. He looked at Olivia. You said everything would be fine. She looked away. For the first time, Ryan realized she could not save him. Neither of them could save each other. After the hearing, reporters surrounded me. Mr. Carter, do you feel like you won? I looked at the cameras.
No.
They looked surprised. No. I shook my head. This was never about winning. Then what was it about? I answered honestly. The truth. That night, I sat alone at home. The case was finally over. Olivia had lost her position. Ryan was facing charges. The world finally knew what happened. But I did not feel the happiness I expected. Because revenge did not erase the pain. It only proved I survived it. Daniel sat beside me. Are you okay? I looked outside. I think I am. You thought about forgiving her? I was quiet. I thought about the woman she used to be. Daniel nodded. But not the woman she became. I looked at him.
No.
For the first time, I accepted that both things could be true. Olivia was someone I loved. And Olivia was someone who hurt me. Both memories existed. But neither controlled me anymore. Sarah called later that evening. You did the right thing. I smiled slightly. I almost chose revenge. But you chose justice. I looked at the empty room. Yes. The old Ethan wanted Olivia to suffer. The new Ethan only wanted peace. I had spent months fighting for the truth. Now I finally had it. And the truth was stronger than any revenge I could have imagined. Months passed after the hearing, and for the first time in years, my life felt quiet. Not empty. Quiet. There was a difference. I spent so long living in chaos that peace felt strange at first. My security company grew faster than I expected. I used the skills I had forgotten and built something that belonged to me. One evening, Emma sat across from me at the dinner table. Daddy, are you happy now? I looked at her. Why do you ask that? Because you smile more. I smiled. Do I? Yes. I laughed softly. I guess I am. Emma played with her food. Mommy used to smile more too. Her words made me pause. Children had a way of saying things adults avoided. I know. Do you hate her? I looked at my daughter.
No.
Why not? I thought carefully. Because hate keeps people connected. Emma looked confused. What does that mean? It means I don't want my heart to be controlled by anger. She nodded slowly. You are better now. I smiled. I am trying. For the first time, I was building a life without thinking about Olivia. But some memories never disappear completely. The wedding, the promises, the years we shared. I carried those memories, but they no longer controlled me. Then one afternoon, I received a message. Olivia wanted to meet. I stared at the screen for several minutes. A part of me wanted to ignore it. Another part of me wanted closure. I agreed. When I arrived, I almost did not recognize her. The woman sitting across from me was not the powerful police chief everyone feared. She looked tired, broken, human. Ethan. I sat down. Olivia. She looked at me for a moment. You look different. I am different. She nodded. I know. The silence between us was heavy. Finally, she spoke. I wanted to apologize. I looked at her. For what? She swallowed. For everything. I said nothing. She continued. I spent so much time protecting my image that I destroyed the person who loved me the most. Her voice shook. I hurt you. Yes. She closed her eyes. I know. I looked away. Part of me remembered the old Olivia. The woman who held my hand during difficult times. The woman who laughed with me. The woman who promised forever. That memory still existed. But so did the truth. I used to wonder when you changed, I said. Olivia looked at me. And now? Now I think you always had a choice. She lowered her head. You are right. I gave you everything. I know. No, Olivia. You don't. My voice became emotional. You knew I loved you. You knew I would protect you. You knew I would stand beside you. Tears filled her eyes. And I used that. I looked at her. Yes. She wiped her face. I was selfish. Yes. I thought I could have everything. And you lost everything. She nodded. I know. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then she asked quietly, Do you hate me? I looked at the woman who once meant everything to me. No. She looked surprised. Why? Because I spent too much of my life loving you to suddenly turn that into hatred. A tear rolled down her cheek. Then what do you feel? I thought about it. Sadness. She looked down. I deserve that. Yes. She nodded. I wish I could change what happened. So do I. Those words hurt both of us. Because we both knew the past could not be repaired. Olivia reached across the table. I miss the man I married. I looked at her hand but did not take it. That man is gone. Her expression changed. Because of me? I nodded. Because of everything that happened. She pulled her hand back. I understand. I took a deep breath. For a long time, I thought forgiving you meant pretending nothing happened. Olivia listened carefully. But I learned something. What? Forgiveness does not mean going back. She looked at me. It means letting go. I continued. I forgive you, Olivia. Her eyes filled with tears. But I will never forget what happened. She nodded. You shouldn't. I will remember the pain. She looked away. And the lessons. For the first time, she accepted my words without trying to defend herself. I hope you find happiness, I said. She looked at me sadly. You already found yours. I smiled slightly. I found myself. Those words felt powerful. Because they were true. I left that meeting without anger. Without wanting revenge. Without needing her regret. The old Ethan wanted Olivia to understand his pain. The new Ethan understood something different. My healing did not depend on her apology. My future did not depend on her regret. A few days later, I stood outside my company building and watched employees walking inside. This was my life now. Built from the pieces I thought were destroyed. Daniel walked beside me. You really moved on. I looked at him. I did. Do you ever miss her? I smiled sadly. Sometimes I miss who she was. And the woman she became? I shook my head. No. I looked toward the city. For years, I believed losing Olivia meant losing everything. I was wrong. Losing her forced me to discover what I had forgotten. My own strength. my own worth, my own identity. Olivia lost the person who loved her most. And I lost the person I was before betrayal. But from that loss, I built someone stronger. Someone I finally respected. Someone I finally chose. Myself.
I used to believe losing Olivia Carter meant losing everything. For 10 years, she was the center of my world. Her dreams became my dreams. Her success became my success. Her happiness became my responsibility. But standing where I was now, I finally understood something important. I had forgotten myself while trying to hold on to someone else. Months after everything ended, my life looked completely different. My security company continued growing. Every day brought new challenges, but they were my challenges. Not Olivia's. Not anyone else's. Mine. One evening, Emma walked into my office holding a drawing. "Daddy, look." I smiled. "What did you make?" She placed a paper on my desk. "It is our family." I looked at the drawing. It showed Emma and me standing beside a house. There was also a small sun above us. "That is beautiful." She smiled. "I made the sun because you are happier now." I looked at her. "You noticed that?" "Of course. I am your daughter." I laughed. "You are very smart." Emma sat beside me. "Are you still sad about Mommy?" Her question surprised me. I thought for a moment. Sometimes memories hurt. Why? Because some things were important. She nodded. "But you're okay?" I smiled. "Yes." "Really?" I looked at my daughter. For the first time in a long time, really. Emma hugged me. "I like this version of you." I held her tightly. "Me too." That night, I visited the old house where Olivia and I had built our life. The house looked the same. The walls, the rooms, the memories. But I was different. I stood outside the front door and remembered the man I used to be. The man who waited for phone calls. The man who ignored his own pain. The man who believed love meant sacrificing everything. I whispered, "I barely recognize you." But I also felt grateful, because that broken man taught me something. Pain does not always destroy you. Sometimes it rebuilds you. My phone rang. It was Sarah. "Ethan, did you check your mail today?" "No." "Why?" "There's a letter from Olivia." I became silent. "Do you want me to read it?" "No." I looked at the house. "I will read it myself." The next morning, I opened the envelope. My hands were calm. That surprised me. A year ago, anything connected to Olivia would have destroyed me. Now I was ready. The letter began. "Ethan, I do not know if I deserve your forgiveness, but I need to say this. You were the best thing that ever happened to me, and I was too selfish to understand it." I stopped reading for a moment, then continued. "I spent my life chasing power, recognition, and the approval of others. I thought losing my position was the worst thing that could happen. I was wrong. The worst thing was realizing I lost someone who truly loved me." I looked away. For years, I wanted Olivia to understand those words. Now that she did, they did not change anything. The letter continued. "I know I cannot undo what I did. I know my apology cannot repair the pain I caused. But I want you to know something. You deserved better than the person I became." I took a deep breath. The final lines were simple. "Thank you for loving me when I did not deserve it. I hope you find the happiness I took away from you. Please keep living the life you always deserved." I folded the letter carefully. Not because I hated her, because I no longer needed her regret. I had spent so much time waiting for Olivia to understand my value. But the truth was, I should have understood it myself. I walked outside and looked at the city. The same city where everyone once believed I was the man who lost everything. They were wrong. I lost a marriage. I lost trust. I lost the future I imagined. But I gained something more important. I gained myself. Daniel met me later that week. "You seem peaceful." I smiled. "I am." He looked at me. "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if Olivia never betrayed you?" I thought about it. Sometimes. And I probably would have stayed the same. Daniel nodded. "Meaning, I would have kept putting everyone else first." He smiled. "Maybe losing her saved you." I looked outside the window. Maybe. I did not believe Olivia's betrayal was a gift. It was painful. It was unfair. It changed my life. But I decided what happened next. That was my choice. I was no longer the man waiting for someone to choose him. I was the man who chose himself. Years ago, I thought my story ended when Olivia walked away. I was wrong. That was only the beginning of a stronger version of me. The beginning of a man who understood his worth. The beginning of a life built on truth instead of sacrifice. I looked at Emma playing in the yard and smiled. She ran toward me. Daddy. I opened my arms. Yes, sweetheart. Can we get ice cream? I laughed. Of course. She smiled. Good. Because today feels like a happy day. I looked at her and realized something. It was not because everything was perfect, not because I forgot the past, but because I accepted it. Olivia was part of my story. She was not my entire story. I walked forward with my daughter beside me. I left the old pain behind, not because I hated the past, because I finally loved the future. And most importantly, I finally loved myself.